I heard that something about retirement was just down the road here, and I thought I'd use some props to let everyone know that I'm heading to the beach next. So.
All right, welcome everyone. We will start with Dave, just kind of do his farewell and press conference, and then we'll move on to Rita and her introductory press conference. So the floor is open.
So Dave, the last few years I've asked you at the last question, is this a year?
Right.
I didn't ask this year.
Right.
What was different about this year?
You know, I think it's just, you just know when it's this time, you know, and the last couple of years have been, I think, more challenging than the other years since COVID has happened, and there's a lot of variables that go in with making a decision like this. But at the end of the day, I think when coaches get to the point where I am, I think you just know that it's in the best interest of everybody, and certainly personally it was in the best interest of myself, but a lot has to go into the program too. When you devote so much of your life to the program and to the athletic department, you really want what's best for the program as well, you know, and it becomes less self-serving and becomes more like I really want to be able to hand it off and end the career in the right way, but also put it in a position where it still can continue to be successful. And so those were the things that I considered and really important for me.
Dave, what have these 31 seasons meant to you?
You know, I still need a little bit of time to gain some perspective on that. You know, coaches tend to just kind of put their head down and they just go from one cycle to the next cycle, you know. And today I was in the gym with the players today, so I'm here for a little while until Rita kicks me out. You know, you just kind of go from one year to the next and just trying to do your best that you can. And so right now it's hard to even think about. I was actually golfing yesterday, well, something that I would never do typically in the middle of the week. And on the way to the golf course, the news station, the people that were speaking were saying, hey, Dave Rubio, a longtime volleyball coach at Arizona, is retiring. And it was just so weird for me to hear that, you know. I'm driving to the course. And so it just really hasn't hit me that much, you know, because I'm kind of still in my routine of doing what I normally do from day to day. And I think that, you know, once I officially kind of don't show up to work every single day, I think I'll have a better idea of kind of what this all means.
So what's next?
Well, the hope is that I get a chance to spend some more time with my family. You know, priority-wise, that would be my number one hope, is that I get a chance to chase my kids around. You know, my twins are sophomores in high school at Cat Foothills, and my daughter plays on the beach team. I'm looking forward to being a dad and certainly a better husband, you know, for Amanda. Coaching takes an awful lot of time, and you're away from home a lot. And even when you're home, you're mentally and emotionally sometimes not available. And so I'm looking forward to just kind of spending some good quality time with my family.
Coach, do you plan on kind of doing like a Coach Candrea, being that ex-coach, the ex-legend that's at all the games and just hanging out, watching your protege here coach and just all your ex-players and the whole 9 yards?
I'm excited about being a fan. You know, Mike and I are going to have lunch sometime soon, and he's going to tell me he's already has a roadmap, so I'm going to just follow his roadmap. And certainly we're trying to follow his roadmap when he was coaching here, and certainly it's going to be a little bit easier since he's paving the way for me.
Obviously receiving the paycheck as the head coach, will you still be around it for an advisory role if needed and stuff like that, since you'll be in Tucson?
Any time that, you know, Rita needs some advice or, you know, needs some counsel and something, I'll always be available for her. And the wonderful thing, not a lot of coaches get to step down when they want to, you know, and kind of end it on their own terms. And when that happens, there's just so many great feelings that go with it, you know. I mean, there's no contentiousness. There's just only just wonderful just like I said, just feelings about how things are between the people, the administration, and the former coaches, the staff, and so I just feel really fortunate to be able to kind of put myself in a position to do what I'm doing right now.
When you met with your team, what were kind of the things you wanted to get across to them about why you were stepping away? When you met with your team, what did you kind of want to get across to them?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, I other than just giving them the information, I wanted to make sure that they understood that it wasn't in anything that they had done, and it was really just time for me to step aside for the program. It's time for new leadership and a new vision for the program, and everyone gets to that point. It doesn't matter. We're all fighting Father Time, and we're all going to get to that position. And I just wanted to make sure it was pretty clear in their mind that I wanted the most for them and the most success for them.
How do you figure over time, U of A and that court out there, the teams that you've coached, how has that all changed you?
That's the one thing about coaching is anybody whether you're coaching a little league or coaching, high school or club or college, regardless of level, the amount of personal challenges that you have are pretty significant from year to year, and every year you're growing as a coach. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on. You question yourself, and every single season, and there's a lot of self-doubt that goes along with coaching. You're trying to overcome your own lack of confidence maybe in dealing with situations. And I think all through those types of situations, there's a lot of personal growth that goes with it. I'm the person I am today because of all the seasons and all the people that I've worked with throughout the 31 years I was here. So it's not easy. I mean, that's the one thing about coaching, and I think anybody that's been in the profession can tell you that it's really a difficult, when you're managing people and you're coaching and you're with people, sometimes it can get messy. But through that mess, there's a lot of personal growth that goes with it.
I saw in your interview with Volleyball Mag, you talked about all, your contemporaries are all retiring. Did that kind of influence you as well, seeing all the people from when you started stepping away?
I think that, like in anything, when there's a generation gap and you're an older person and you're working with younger people, there's sometimes a disconnect. And that was, certainly one of the things that for me was the gap was getting bigger because I was getting older and the kids never age, and so it was really a more difficult for me to communicate with them and to relate to them. And one of the driving forces for me to get to the decision I came to was I just wasn't as effective as I used to be, and I didn't want that to happen. I mean, the program deserved more than that and better than that.
Anything else for Dave?
Well, can you describe the process of the new hiring, for instance, of your replacement, and can you talk about how confident you are that the program's going to continue to be as good as it has been over the years?
I mean, Rita and I are like family. I mean, when I was hired in 1992, Rita was a player for me for 3 years, and it wasn't easy, believe me. I mean, there's a lot of stories there, and all the stories aren't that pretty. But we managed to be together for those 3 years, and then when she went off and played professionally for the year, then I knew in 1996 that I wanted to bring her back because I knew that she would be an outstanding coach. And for those next 10 years, she and I we partnered in arguably the greatest run of volleyball for us at that time. And then when she left, in those 5 or 6 years, 7 years, and then I begged her to come back, from North Carolina, and so it was a natural transition for us, for me to recommend her to follow me. And I'm so appreciative of Dave Hickey and the administration to have enough confidence in her and to carry on and make it better. I mean, that's the thing. We need to be better. And I have all the confidence in the world that Rita's the right person for the job, and I'm excited that she's been given the opportunity to do that. And a lot of people in our profession have reached out to Rita and said congrats, because it's really, in a sense, in our world, it doesn't happen very often where the assistant gets to follow the head coach. And so it's really been a tribute to Dave and his administration and his people that have enough confidence to Rita to take over for me. So I'm excited to watch the growth and the progress, as she continues to as she takes over the program.
What do you think you'll miss the most?
I tell you, what makes Tucson special and what makes McHale special are the people. And by far, what I'll miss the most are the people. And the people, the student athletes certainly, but the people I work with every single day. The Tucson community has been just outstanding in their outpouring of congratulations to me. And there's just a lot of love in this building, and there's just a lot of love in Tucson. And I think that, your identity is wrapped up in this place, and when you're no longer the head volleyball coach at Arizona, that's going to take a little getting used to, I would think. So, I'm really going to miss the people, the day-to-day interaction with that, and certainly the challenges. As much as you hate the challenges that come with coaching, when you look back at it, those are the challenges that make you who you are and make you better. And so, those are the things that I think I'll miss most.
How emotional was this decision for you?
I'm not really an emotional guy. I mean, if you talk to my wife, I throw away pictures all the time, and it's like, don't you want to save this? I'm like, not really, So, it really isn't as. I mean, I struggle with it right now. I'm mixed about it because it's something I've done every single day, but I just knew it was when it's time, it's time. My mom lives with us, and she's 85, and I went in the house yesterday, and she was like, "Are you sure it's the right decision?" I'm like, Mom, absolutely, it's the right decision, and so there's no second thoughts at all, and so I'm happy for how everything has gone with us, and that's a tribute to Dave, and allowing this type of what's a celebration and moving towards with a new coach. I'm excited for it's really done the right way, and we're fortunate for that.
Anything else for Dave?
Okay, I'm going to take my surfboard and go catch a wave. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, he's going out the other door, too. He's really he's not coming back.
All right, we'll open the floor for Rita.
Rita, what has that man meant to you?
I don't know that I can articulate enough about what Dave did. I like to tell everyone he saved me 3 times. He saved me as a player. He saved me when he believed in me to be a coach when I had no desire to coach. But he said you can be a great coach, and then when he brought me back from North Carolina. So my heart goes out for Dave, and I can't say enough about him.
You talked about when you were at NC State that everyone hates the head coach. Everyone loves you right now, but are you ready for that? And what is that like?
That was one of the hardest transitions for me because I think I'm likable. I think I'm kind of funny, and people want to be around me. And when I became a head coach, they didn't relate to me that way, but I don't think I presented myself as myself. Last time I had that experience, I went honestly trying to be like Dave. This is the way it needs to be, and it wasn't me. So I didn't know who I was, and I didn't have enough, I'd say I was probably too prideful that I didn't ask for help. So now I'm always upfront, honest. I believe in being vulnerable with the players, and that was the meeting I had with them. As soon as Dave announced it to the team, I sat down on a little beanbag because that's who I am. And so I'm not going to change who I am now.
What does it mean for you to get the chance to coach your alma mater?
Who wouldn't want to coach at their alma mater, right? I started this journey of writing down what I wanted April 22nd, 2020. It said journey to head coach. And so it was always my goal to, once I decided I wanted to be a coach, that I wanted to be able to coach here. I wanted to be able to give back. I bleed red and blue. Everything about me is a competitor, and everyone that's going to be around me is going to think the same way.
Do you think there'll be changes in the way, like the philosophy or the style of volleyball that's played, or how's that different between you and Dave?
Well, we're two totally different people. I think that being able to adapt to the time is super important, being able to understand and meet the needs of the athletes to be able to get the most out of them. And so on a daily basis, I will check in and ask those questions. But as long as I'm me, I know that they'll be able to be them. So there's things that Dave did that is awesome, and we will continue those things. But Rita's going to put her little spin on things, too.
What does that mean? What is your spin?
I stand for truth, honesty, and hard work. And everything that I do, everyone will know that I'm there doing it with them. So I would never ask them to do something that I wouldn't do. I wake up early in the morning, I read a lot, I exercise, I do all those different things. So the best way to answer that question is to know who I am, and then you'll see what Rita brings to the table. And I'm excited for that.
What do the players think about this whole thing?
Well, once Dave announced he retired, my phone blew up. And it was like, are you next? Are you leaving? What's going on? From recruits to the players in the program. And of course, I had to remain quiet on everything that was going on. So I just sent thank you for reaching out, super happy for Dave, and kept it as vague as I could. And then once it was announced the next day, then in the midst of Dave talking, my phone is blowing up. You know, all the players, thank you, I'm so excited, happy to have you do this. Rita, we believe in you. It was nothing but support, and that's what I like hearing.
What was the conversation like when Dave initially broached the topic of his sincere retirement to you and the idea that you would take over?
Well, he came in my office, first of all, which never happens. And so I'm like, why are you in here? And then he sat down and he said, hey, I need to tell you something. And I was like, okay. He's like, I'm retiring. I go, no way. Because he's said it years and years, and he'll say it, he's frustrated. And I was like, are you for real? And he said, yes, I'm for real. And he goes, but I really think you should go for this. I think you'll be good for the job. So immediately, in Dave fashion, he started supporting me and trying to take the attention off himself.
When he tells you that he wants you to take over, what's going through your mind?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you better answer that phone when I call.
So what are you looking for in your staff when you put together your staff?
We're in the process of working through that. I just got the job yesterday, so but have people in mind that we would like to bring on staff. They will be a better complement of me, which I think is super important. You have to have the people around you that are going to be better where you are weak, and then allow you to play off of your strengths.
Can you elaborate a little bit more about, you know, when you had that conversation? If you don't mind, how long ago was that? Was it a few weeks ago? Was it a month ago? Or was it, I mean, how long did you kind of have to let this hibernate a little bit before it finally came out?
Dave announcing his retirement?
Yeah, when he first had a conversation with you, and he said, you know, saying he wanted to be your successor on the whole 9 yards, because in other words, I'm sure it was kind of hard for you not to let the cat out of the bag as you waited for the process to go through.
You'd be amazed what I held tight to myself. I think it was about 3 weeks when he truly said it out loud to me, but he's been preparing me for this position since I came back, actually. And every year, the first year when I came back, he said that, Rita, I'm retiring in 8 years. I think that was 10 years ago. So it was something that I'm grateful to him for, because he's always put me in a position to be able to talk to people, to help with fundraising, to, you know, just do various things that normal assistant coaches don't get the opportunity to do. So I knew that he was grooming me for something.
How have the conversations been with recruits?
Well, our number one recruit in the 24 class, as soon as Dave had put that out, both her and her dad called me, and I was sweating bullets because I couldn't say anything. And I was like, okay, everything's going to be okay. I'll call you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have some good news for you, is what I did. And that recruit was the first person I called once I finished talking to the team. And we talked for about 30 minutes. She's definitely on board, happy. The dad called me last night. We sat and chat and laughed for about 40 minutes last night. So that was probably the one that scared me the most, to be honest. But everyone else jumped on board, and I made sure I immediately told them that I was 100% committed to them, that I still wanted them to be a part of this program, because that's who I am. I'm a person of my word, and once we want you here, you're here. And that's the process been.
What did you learn as your time as the head coach for NC State?
Be true to yourself. put the right people around you, and ask for help.
Anything else for Rita? All right.
Okay.
Hey, I know, thanks everybody for being here, and I know maybe this is the way we put things together isn't, you know, the most natural or the straightforward way you do this, and maybe feels a little backwards. Doesn't feel backwards to me at all. Let me be very clear with that, okay? One, let me just say thanks to Coach Rubio for his incredible commitment to this program. You know, look back what he did when he got here, where it was, what happened through those years, and where it is today. This is a tremendous program, and we thank Dave for that. And you know, he deserves to be able to go out his way and do it his way, and that's what he did, truly did. And but I couldn't be more excited either, sitting here, knowing that we have the right next head coach for the program to take it to even a bigger, greater level than it's been at. And Rita is the person that will do that. And I just want you to know I'm thrilled to sit next to her and be her partner in this too. And it's going to be an exciting time. You know, you don't think someone's going to walk in your office and say, "I'm going to retire." And Dave and I had talked about it. You know, so it wasn't one day, as Rita said, it wasn't one day that it all happened. And you think about what would be the next step. And it was pretty clear as you try to mentally prepare as the athletic director for that, who the people are that can do that job and what's the right next fit. And Rita's been that person. And we've seen her work. We've seen what she's done, the relationships she has, the way she develops players, her ability to recruit. You know, and I go back to what Dave said. This place is about people. The people that are in this room, the people who make this program up, that's what's special about Arizona athletics. And we've got good people here. And we're glad to have Rita leading the program. So thanks, everybody, and thank you, Rita.
Thank
and
you.
Congrats. I'm thrilled.
Thank you so
All right.
much. Appreciate
Bear
it.
down. Go Cats.